All right. So we're looking at this Unit 5. We just took a test. We did on it. So we're going back through each of the sections to try to pick up any nuggets that we're missing. Okay, so let's go to work. This first section is the area where we did the best. Okay, there's two things we need to do. One, we need to identify if it's a polynomial or not. Okay, how did we determine if it was even a polynomial? What things were we looking for or not looking for to determine something is a polynomial? No. Roots. It can't have roots. Can't have any roots in a polynomial. What else can you not have? Can't have an x on the denominator either. So, you can't have an x on the bottom and you can't have any square roots. All right, so let's look up here at problems 1, 2, 3, and 4. Quickly, which ones of those are not polynomials? Connor? 2 and 4. 2 has it on the bottom, so that's not a polynomial, or no, it's not a polynomial. And 4 has a root, so it is not a polynomial either. Because both of those were not polynomials, I'm done with those particular two. So what you're telling me is number 1 and 3 are polynomials. Yes, they absolutely are. Now, if it's a polynomial, we need to name the polynomial. Okay, and there's two ways to name the polynomial. What are they?
Degree and number of terms.
Good. Degree and number of terms. It tells you that right there in the directions. But I want to kind of quickly review. Think about the degree as the first name of the polynomial. You know, like all of you have a first name and a last name. The first name is the degree. The second name is the number of terms. Okay? Like you got your first name by whatever your parents decided to name you. You got your last name from one of your parents, right? Okay, so if something is to the first degree, what is it called? Good, linear. Something to the second degree. I want you writing these down on your paper, please. Quadratic. Something to the third degree. Cubic. Fourth degree. Quartic. We're doing really well here. Fifth degree. Quintic. For all the Avenger fans. Quinjet. Yeah, beyond sixth is just whatever the degree is. The sixth degree, seventh degree, eighth degree, and so on. So that tells us our first name. The second name is determined by how many terms it has. If it has one term, it's called a monomial. 2 terms is called a binomial. 3 terms is called a trinomial. And if it has 4 or more, it is a polynomial. Now that we have those lists, naming these polynomials becomes very easy. Looking at number 1, the degree is 3, making it cubic. And it has how many terms? 1, 2. So it's a cubic binomial. Please name number 3 on your own. 10 seconds. Caden, what do you got?
Quadratic trinomial.
Very good. A quadratic trinomial. Excellent. Quadratic trinomial. So, 1 through 4 on the test, man, we should be golden on. Yes? All right. Let's look at the next section. Now we're performing polynomial operations. Now, we just talked about these in our problem of the day or our quizzes from today. So I would like you to go ahead and do number 5 quickly. I'm going to give you about 10 seconds. Do number 5. So Dylan, what am I doing on this?
Aren't you supposed to add the 2x squared and 5x squared?
Yep. I'm combining like terms, all the like terms. Well, let's start with the cubed. Is there another cube there somewhere? There's another one right here, right? So I can take x cubed plus x cubed. What's that? 2x cubed. Got two of them. Now, once you're done with them, I think it's a good idea to cross them off. What's the next one I want to deal with? X squared. I have an x squared here. And I have an x squared here. 2x squared minus 3 or minus 5x squared. It's a negative 3x squared. 2 minus 5. That's hard, right? 2 minus 5. I know my answer is going to be negative. 5 minus 2 is 3. It's another way to look at it. Again, I'm done with those. Now, what's my next set of like terms? A negative 3x and 3x. That's 0. Do I have to write 0x? I can just kind of skip it, right? It's canceled. And negative 7 and 17 are my constants. Add those together to get 10. How many people got that? Not bad. Not bad. All right. What do we have to do special on number 6? Change the signs in the second one, right? Distribute that negative 1. Go ahead. I'll give you a few seconds to do number 6. I'm going to go ahead and write down this first one. I'm not doing anything to it. I'm just copying it down. Now, on the second set of parentheses, I'm distributing this negative 1, which basically means I'm changing all the signs. Negative 1 times a negative 7 is a positive 7x squared. Negative 1 times 3x is a negative 3x. Negative 1 times a negative 12 is a positive 12. Now that I've distributed the negative 1, I don't have to worry about any double signs. Now I can just combine my like terms. Okay, I got a cubed and a cube. 5 minus 2. 3x cubed. Done. Done. Is there a squared in here? Yeah, there it is. See that squared? Is there any others? No, so let's just bring it down. So plus 7x squared. Didn't have any like terms. Now I've got an x and an x. Negative 4 and a negative 3. The negative 7x. Only thing left are my constants. 5 and 12. The 17. How many people got that?
Wait.
Excellent. Go ahead with your question.
How are these 17 subtracting?
We're not subtracting anymore because we distributed the negative 1. Once you've distributed that negative 1, you don't have to think about subtraction anymore. You just have to think about the signs that are with each number. So that's a positive 5 and a positive 12. So 5 plus 12 is 17. It was a good question, but that's why we distribute that negative 1, so we don't have to worry about the negative sign anymore. Okay? Again, if you're still struggling with the addition and subtraction, please use a calculator. All right, number 7. Number 7, we can FOIL it or distribute it. We got to take the first times the first. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times a negative 2 is a negative 6x. Good. Negative 7 times x. Negative 7x. Negative 7 times a negative 2. Negative times a negative is a positive 14. It's still 14. Am I done? No, because I got these two like terms right there that I need to put together. So I just pull down the 3x squared. Negative 6 and the negative 7 is a negative 13x plus 14. How many got that one right? Excellent. Excellent. Number 8 is the same thing. It's just there's a lot more. Okay, so you got to take your time. Now I'm going to draw a couple lines and then I'm going to erase them and draw a couple lines and erase them. Watch. I got to take this x squared times x. Gives me?
X to the third,
Good. Now x squared times negative 1.
negative x squared.
Good. Negative x squared. So now I've done this first term times everything in the second. So now I just got to do the second term. Negative 3x times x
squared.
is a negative 3x squared. Negative 3x times a negative 1.
Negative 3x. Positive.
Positive 3x. So now I've done the middle term. I just have to do the last one. 2x, or 2 times x,
Positive 2x.
and 2 times a negative 1.
Negative 2.
Good. But now we can see that I have 2x squareds and 2x's. So I just got to combine those like terms there. X cubed I bring down. Negative 1 and a negative 3 is a
Negative 2.
negative 4. Negative 4. A negative and a negative. The signs are the same, so you just add the numbers. 1 plus 3 is 4. Okay, on the next one, 3x plus 2x is,
5.
and then minus 2 comes down. How many people got that one? Good. Good. Do you feel better about the polynomial operations? Okay, just promise me this. If you're struggling with the adding and subtracting, use your calculator. Okay? Don't let that freak you out. All right. Let's look at number 9 and 10. 9 and 10 is where we start graphing. Okay? Number 9 is in standard form. When it's in standard form, there's really only one way. Well, there's two things you can do. Either one, you use the tool that we've designed, which is x equals negative b over 2a. You either have to use that sign, or excuse me, that tool, or you got to complete the square. You could do it either way, but I'm just going to do this one by using the x value. You want me to do it both ways? I will.
No.
How many of you use the negative b over 2a? Which is what you probably should use. Especially this one, because this one would be more difficult to complete the square because there's a leading coefficient. Okay? So, all we got to do is take the opposite of b. What's b? Negative 16. So what's the opposite of b? 16. Over 2 times a. What's a? 2. So 16 over 2 times 2 is 4. 16 over 4 is 4.
Repeat that.
16 divided by 4 is 4. So that tells me my x value of my vertex. It also tells me what we talked about during a problem of the day today is my axis of symmetry. Remember this line I keep drawing? On that axis of symmetry, somewhere is going to be my vertex. How do I find out where on that axis of symmetry? Plug it in. So I got to take this f of 4 equals 2 times 4 squared minus 16 times 4 plus 24. I've got to take that, plug the 4 in. Now, just as a reminder, I got to go 4 squared. I can't go 2 times 4, then square it. I got to do the squaring first. Remember my order of operations, parentheses, exponents. I got to do that first. So 4 squared is 16. 2 times 16 is 32. 16 times 4 is a negative 64. And then plus 24. If I were to simplify that using my handy-dandy calculator or my brain, either way, I would get a negative 8. So the y value of my vertex is negative 8. Now I can plot my vertex. 4, negative 8. Now, I realize that we know we're supposed to now choose two numbers, like 2 and 3 and 2, or 2 and 3. Oops. And we're supposed to plug those in and get the y values. But I taught you a shortcut of how to find the next points. What was it? The leading coefficient, the a value. Go to Canada, eh? And what is my A?
2.
2. So from this point, I can go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and there is my parabola. Okay? That's the hardest one you have to do. That's the hardest graphing one you have to do right there, because you got to use that x equals negative b over 2a. Graph number 10, right now, you have 10 seconds. Mason, what's my vertex? Christy?
-5, -8.
-5, -8. It's in vertex form. I take the opposite of this number, so that's -5, and then I take whatever that number is. See, that's my vertex, -5, -8. Graph that point, -5, -8. Then use what? The A value. What's my A value? 1. To go up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. Cool? There's my parabola. Now, keep that paper. We're going to finish that paper on Monday before we retest on Tuesday. Okay? Y'all have a great day.